clean their bathrooms in 2 months.
No, absolutely
so
not.
nobody's coming over to my house for dinner anymore.
Absolutely not. You are more normal than you think you are.
Right. And I think that's the other thing that we need to remember is that we're not alone in this.
No,
so
absolutely not.
I think we've established about the beginning. So now we want to take it to the next level. So we have established what we need to do, preliminary work, and really it's probably going to take the longest amount of time.
That is the longest portion.
You know, because it's a heart journey.
Yes. And not to lie to yourself. You know, this is something that when you're doing that assessment, be honest. We all have flaws. We are all flawed, and that is okay. You have to recognize those flaws because if you sugarcoat or candy coat, this system will never work for you. You'll never keep up with it, and it'll be another chore.
And if you're not sure if you're being honest to yourself, ask the person close to you, how am I in this? And then be ready for an honest answer. Make sure you love them very much and they love you very much before you ask that. So now that we know what we need to do beforehand, we need to walk through the practical steps. We've taken the assessment. We know what our life is like. We know what our schedules require of us, and now we want to get our home organized. We want it to look beautiful. We want some decoration. We want even paint on the walls. I mean, we want our home to reflect us.
Yes.
So, so there's, from what you told me, there's a few different elements. There's the planning of the actual decorating, the aesthetically pleasing, beautiful things, or cool things, or whatever your style is.
Whatever the style happens to be. Absolutely.
And then the organization and cleaning, and then the maintenance of all of that.
And the maintenance is the part that scares most people away, but once you set the system up, it becomes secondhand.
Okay.
So you don't even realize you're doing it. It's not a chore to do it. It's just getting that system set up, really understanding where things go. And once you start doing it, you'll see that, you know, my sister laughs about her little one, where when she picked up the broom for the first time, my sister said, no, 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 no. And I said, wait, let her do it. And now she sweeps the floors or sweeps the porch. She's 5.
I mean, didn't you know that's why we have children?
Yes, they are. That's exactly it. And it's legal. It's 100% legal. No one will yell at you for it. Absolutely. So going into the system, it does not have to be elaborate. It really does not. I mean, as I mentioned before.
So let's talk about it. Let's just get right into it. Because we only have 30 minutes. I want to make sure they get everything they need.
Absolutely. Be able to walk away with something.
So the system. Let's talk about the system first. Then we'll go in. We'll talk about the decorating pretty stuff last.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the system and the maintenance of the system. Okay, so we need to get organized. We need to clear out the clutter. We know what our priorities are. So everything that we look at in our house we should be asking ourselves what? When we're deciding what to keep, you know,
well,
all that.
How often do you use it? I mean, if it's something that, you know, you have items that you will use on a yearly basis, but you do need them, as you were mentioning before. You do need those items. So those are things that can be put on a higher shelf, put away, labeled in a box, something like that, that you only pull out once a year. Things that you use weekly.
So you probably shouldn't put your toothpaste in a box on the shelf.
No, absolutely not. And a vacuum cleaner needs to be in an accessible area as well.
Note to self again.
Exactly. So things like that you're not using on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So those are things that, you know, look at the overall picture. What are the things? Because those are the easiest to take out of the equation. When you're looking at 50 sticks in a pile and you realize these 3 are the longest, put those aside. Those are your yearly items. Then go to monthly. Do I use these quarterly or monthly? Okay, so like we were talking about changing air filters or furnace filters, those are yearly, or I'm sorry,
and
monthly.
I know most of us forget to do that. And I have a solution for that. Just wait.
Yes, that's coming. But being able to take those and set those aside as well. So now you'll notice that 50 stick pile has decreased by half, because you really don't use those things all the time. So when you take that and you reduce that, it's a more manageable amount of items to be able to store.
I'm just going to say that again for all of us hard-headed people. Manageable pile.
Yes.
Not everything at once.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you must take portions, because if not, it becomes a completely overwhelming task. You get partially through it, and that's usually when the clients call me and say, okay, I started over here, and I started over here, and I started over here. So when you walk in, you have these small portions.
So basically you're saying there's power and focus.
Yes.
I am learning that right now. And what's amazing is I wasn't learning it until I realized I had to teach my children this. And then I'm like,
I really need to be a little more focused myself. Well, and I think too, as a creative person, I was talking earlier today about this, that, you know, I am sort of a bird to shiny thing sometimes, where, because I have multiple projects going on with clients at a time, so I have to focus a little here and I have to focus a little here and I have to jump back and forth.
But you have a framework for your focus.
But that's exactly it, where checklist, if you don't have a checklist and you're not checking things off, sometimes you can lose track. And then you're running back out to get something because you needed to make a trip all the way around.
So I totally get that, and that makes sense. So we are going to have 2 checklists. So we have big scale organization. That's going to be kind of like a one-time thing.
Yes.
We're talking organizing the Christmas stuff in proper boxes, organizing the bedrooms, cleaning out the clothes that are too small, all of those big deep cleaning projects. So that's one category.
One category.
Then we have another category that is daily and monthly
pieces.
Routine cleaning and maintenance.
Yes.
So let's talk about, okay, so I think we touched enough on the big routines.
Big picture.
And they'll be, I know this is so much in 30 minutes, so there's going to be plenty of information, links on the Chrysler Shepherd website or the the single parent Facebook page. So be sure to check that for all this information.
And I'm also putting things on my website as well, and people can contact me.
And you can find all that through the Facebook page or the Chrysler Shepherd website.
Absolutely.
So we'll have links for all this. So we have the big categorization, the big cleaning, the big organizing that might happen one time, and then you'll never have to do that again.
Yes.
And there'll be more lists online about what to do specifically. So now we have the daily routine. So we have that first crazy one after the priorities.
You've eliminated that priority.
And then we have our daily schedule.
Our daily schedule.
And I brought my stuff because, well, since she doesn't have children, I just thought I would help her out.
She was
I have children.
She was donating for me. Absolutely.
Okay, so this, and I know this is not neat. It's not supposed to be, because real women do not type every little thing up and make a big, like, PowerPoint
it's not
for
a PowerPoint.
This
There's
is what
no
it looks like when you really do it. So this is what I brought. Okay, so what we did is, because we realized that cleaning all day on one day, we didn't like it, because we wanted to spend time together as a family.
Absolutely.
And so we spent all day cleaning. I was frustrated trying to chase the baby around, trying to keep the 8-year-old motivated, and actually cleaning up the things he needed to clean up, and they weren't getting it. And so I'm like, okay, I know they need to be involved. I know we need to do this. So somebody told me about like incremental cleaning.
Absolutely.
Just taking 15 to 20 minutes a day. And at first when somebody told me about this, I thought, this is absolutely impossible. You cannot clean your whole house in just 15 to 20 minutes a day. Well,
yes,
I was wrong. You can. So what we did is we categorized all the different things that we have to do. So the dusting, and then I listed the rooms. And I did the same for that we have to dust in. Then vacuum, general cleanup, deep cleaning, PRN tasks like just intermittent stuff, sweep and mop, then administrator stuff like bills, menu planning, all that. I include that in my household chores. Kitchen, garage, yard work. Unless you live in an apartment complex, then, you don't have a garage and yard work.
Or HOA, that's a savior too.
No, we have an HOA, and we still have to do our own yard work. Bathrooms, and then trash. So then what I did is I then took each of these tasks, and Monday is the dust day, and so each day of the week, there's a different thing.
Yes.
Of course, general cleanup is every day.
Every day. Those are things that you do constantly.
And then what we did for that is, like, during our cleaning up and chores surrounded mostly around meal times. So the kids know now, and I've told them, and you have to tell them, you can't do all this planning and then assume it just goes into them by osmosis. Because I know we do that. We just think that because we planned it for 7 hours, that they're just going to know.
Well, and there are little people that follow you too. So if they see you doing it, they're more inclined to do it as well.
Right.
So setting a good example really starts with you and then trickles down.
So is this is a good idea?
This is a great idea. This is exactly what I do with my clients. Sometimes we'll get the children involved where I'll have them do the bubble drawing. You know, do out a little bubble drawing. Get them involved. You know, the shoebox projects. Get them involved with things. Sure. get them involved with things that they can do and help with. Like this is my personal favorite.
Cute?
I did this with my nieces and nephews. There are 14 of them. All of their little drawing. We're all little baby artists at heart.
I
so
like this.
This is